Good evening, everyone, and welcome to our end of day trading session for this week. Okay, so unfortunately, we had the Hangout session change its registration. Again, it's just for the recording in that sense. So hopefully, quite a couple of you actually do get on. But let's have a look at what's happening with the Ichimoku trades at this point. Now, from last week that we looked at and that kind of thing, there was quite a couple of opportunities coming up. Okay, so we on a couple of trades. They're running at this point in time, and we might actually be seeing some new trades coming up tonight as well. Okay, so what we do then is let's have a look at what we can spot in terms of finding specifically new entries and that kind of thing. We're going to do our normal analysis as usual. Okay. Now, at any point in time, if any of you have got a question in terms of the Ichimoku or any other types of analysis with it, by all means, just type into the chat feature and we take it from there. Okay. Right. Now, first things first. Okay. What we're looking at is currently the euro US dollar. Now, the euro US dollar, this has given an entry a little while ago. And remember, we said basically that the entry was on the Kumo break. So some of you should be in this trade. Okay. Entry is basically round about over here. Stop would have been placed over here. Now, let's have a look at what we can do or need to do. Okay, can we ratchet the stop? So let's have a look. Right, how many sections do we count? Remember that? 3 flat sections back. Now this is a flat section, but it's not yet finished forming. This needs to either go up or down in order for this to be a finished flat section. Therefore, we start with the next one. So it's 1, 2, 3. So now we can ratchet the stop from here over to the Kumo, not the Kumo basically, but the Kujin Sen, the blue line over here. So we ratchet our stop always 3 flat Kujin levels back. That's it. That's the ratcheting method. So as soon as this one finishes forming, let's say price starts going up and the Kujin goes back up again, then we'll start counting from this one. 1, 2, 3. So we'll ratchet the stop from here to there. So at this point in time, your entry should be here. Your stop should now be here. Okay. And remember, there is no target whatsoever. Okay. The target basically is open. So what we're doing is we are aiming for as much as we can get. The only thing that's going to take us out of this trade is price turning against us and running our stops. So remember, this is a trending strategy, but we add to our position as the trend strengthens. So hopefully we might get another entry signal come up very shortly on that. Okay. Now, let's have a look at the next chart and see what that is delivering. Now, here's the pound US. Now this one, okay, let's have a quick look. What's happening here? What have we got? We have got price below the Kumo cloud, right? That means it's bearish. The Kumo itself, the future Kumo, that kind of thing, is bearish as well. The Tenkan and Kujin Sen is below the cloud as well, right? And then the Chiku span is below the cloud as well. So all of that is very favorable for a bearish entry. Now, some of you who have been trading this for a little bit longer, okay, would have basically already been in a couple of trades in this. So you should have had an original entry, and you should be basically about 3 entries strong into this trade. So this one is a beautiful trade running nicely. Now, let's see if there's any signals that are being produced by the Ichimoku at this point in time. Okay, I'll just remind some of you again, those who are viewing on the normal live page through the normal registration link. If you want to, just check your email. There is an email that has been sent out with the new Hangouts link. Just click on that one and you'd get instant access to the actual Hangout. Okay, right. Now, what signals are we seeing here? What do you think? Look here. See this big red candle? That is what we call the price breaking the Kujan. It's bearish, so we're looking for a sell signal, right? And therefore, the type of Kujan break we're looking for is the price breaking Kujan from above to below. And it's done that, didn't it? So we've got a sell signal here. That's one of these sell signals. But now what we need to do, and this signal is confirmed because we're on the new candle. So yesterday, this one confirmed, okay? So technically this one we can enter now. But let's assess it a little bit further and take some of the rest of the features into consideration. Firstly, the Tenkan Kujin themselves. Are they in the right order? No. The Tenkan is above the Kujin. I want it below the Kujin. Okay. Still all right though. And this could be a good signal to take. There's only one issue that I have got. And let me show you guys. Look at that. What's that? That's the Chiku span heading into price. Now, because of that, remember, the Chiku is almost going to be like the bigger type of influencer in terms of what we are going to do. Right now, at this point in time, we're getting the signal, right? And it's looking okay. But the problem is where that Chiku span is situated. It's running into price. So we can most likely expect some sideways movement now. Okay, this could consolidate and then change trend. So this might not be the best signal to take now, seeing as where the Chiku span itself is situated. I'd rather want the Chiku to break a bit lower and break past price so that it's got clear and open space in front of it. Because once it gets clear and open space, look what happens. It runs. Okay? So let's look at it another way. Remember, basically the Chiku breaking price into a direction is also a signal. So we could rather wait maybe for the Chiku to clear price and then take the entry, because then it should have at least some open space in front of it. Okay. But another signal that's most likely going to come up before that even happens would be which one? That signal would be the Tenkan Kujin Sen cross. Look at the Tenkan moving towards the Kujin. They'll probably cross in about, I'd say closer to the end of this week. So with this one, we've got the Tenkan Kujin Sen that could come up, and that might actually push that Chiku span into a bit of a more favorable position. So I'm going to hold on to this one. I'm not really going to trade this now. Okay, even though this is giving a signal, I'm not happy with where the Chiku span is situated. Okay, I'd rather leave this a little bit longer and get a much better entry signal, maybe a couple of candles later. It'll either be the Tenkan and Kujin Sen cross, or it'll be right after that, okay, in the Chiku breaking price. Okay, right. So remember, on that one, what we're going to do is we're just going to hold on slightly for a little while. Okay. Okay, so next chart. Here we've got the US franc. So it's the US dollar against the Swiss franc. Now this one, okay, we had a look at a little while ago. It kind of gave a signal, right? And that one was basically the Tenkan Kujinsen cross that happened roughly over there. So it's basically, so some of you should be in this trade as well. Okay. That's one that I missed, unfortunately, waiting for a bit of a better entry. But that one definitely should have been taken by quite a couple of you. This one is producing some nice signals for downwards move. So hopefully this one can give, another entry signal very soon. So let's just keep our eye on that one and see what happens. Okay. But at this point in time, there's nothing much. It's on a bearish side of the cloud. The future Kumo is pointing down and bearish. The Chiku span is inside the cloud, but it is still underneath price. Okay. So we just need to kind of give this a little bit more time and see what this is going to transpire into, okay, in a few candles and so forth. We might have a much better idea then. Okay, next one is the US yen. Now, with this one, you should have been in by now as well. Okay, got the entry being given by the Tenkan Kujinsen cross. That's what got us into that one. The Chiku span was in a nice clear open space. Okay, so that's the thing that kind of gave me the go ahead for the trade. And not only that, look at the future Kumo at the point at which the trade was taken at as well. We actually had the future Kumo pointing down as well. This one is a very, very good signal for a sell. Okay, so a couple of you should be in this trade actually. Okay, and with this one, our stop is situated obviously from where we entered 7 candles back. And what we're looking at is we're probably going to, at a later point in time, start ratcheting the stop. Remember, we want to keep it how far back? 3 flat sections. So far, there's one forming here. So this will take a while before we'd actually be able to move this further down. Okay. So with the US yen, that's one that you guys should be in on. And for those of you who are, well done, well spotted on the signal. Okay, this one had clear, beautiful entry signals to get into for a sell on this. Okay, so most of you should be in this trade. Okay, right. Overall bearish, like I said, moving nicely. Future Kumo looks good. I don't know, and it doesn't look like it's going to give any extra entries pretty soon. So we might need to give this time. If we're lucky, we're going to get some additional add-on entries. And that's what I want to start showing you guys as well. Once the trend starts forming, the beautiful thing is the extra entries that we start taking and the additions we make into entering on that chart. Okay, that's how we actually add the profit with the Ichimoku. Right? It's about adding additional entries and strengthening that trade as it keeps on going. And as long as we keep that target open, the longer trends, the more money we're going to make. That's the key way in maintaining the profit-making ability with the Ichimoku. Right, now, next chart. Let's have a look at what that one is producing. Now, here's something interesting happening. Okay. Bullish or bearish? What would you guys say? This one is none of the above. Okay. Where's price? Price is inside the cloud, which means we're actually hitting consolidation. if you look at the way in which price is running as well, you can actually see that it's kind of running on a support level now, looking like it is wanting to break it. The candle itself looks like it's trying to pierce the cloud. Let's just kind of zoom in slightly with the chart and get a bit of the bigger picture, right? Or look at it more detailed then. You can see that it's just piercing the bottom of that cloud, which means most likely tomorrow we could have an entry, isn't it? What entry signal is it giving then? Kumo break. It's price breaking out of the Kumo. Now remember what I said. The Kumo breaks tends to be the start of our new trends. They are the most difficult entries to take because the fact is that with them, most of the other signals aren't lined up correctly enough. Now look at what I'm talking about. The Tenkan and Kujin Sen is in the right order, but the problem is they're above the cloud, the Kujin is, and the Tenkan is inside the cloud. Look at the future Kumo. It's still bullish. But if you look closely, what's happening? It's looking like it's wanting to cross. Okay, so the other problem I've got is that the Chiku span is still above the cloud. Nice thing that I'm seeing though is that the Chiku span did cross price, right? And it's in open space now. So here's the thing. This could be a gutsy trade, right? The fact is this is a Kumo break. None of the signals are ever going to match up 100%, ever, when taking a Kumo break entry. That's why I'm saying they are probably one of the most difficult entries to take. So normally what happens, and what you're going to see is, what tends to happen is when we get the Kumo break, we actually tend to get the future Kumo cross happening as well. And that is another entry signal. So if we're weary about this entry signal, we could maybe wait another day or two and wait to see if the future Kumo cross happens as well, and then use that as an entry, because maybe it sets everything a little bit in a better position. Okay. If you're still worried and everything is not in a great position with that one in particular, then what I'd suggest in doing is if you're a bit afraid of actually getting in, what I'd recommend then is actually taking an entry of 0.5% with risk, not a full percent. So if it goes against you, at least you're not losing a full percenter. Okay, but you're in the trade when it starts running. So that's some of the things you kind of assess for yourself. Which would work better? What do you feel more comfortable with? Remember, if you're going to start trading this live, okay, and you're going to have a small balance that you're going to be running with. That's why I'd rather recommend looking at something that would be able to give you mini account exposure, especially if you're going to start off with a small account in the beginning when running with this. Right? Remember, your stop to entry sizes are going to be a lot larger. And because of that, you're going to find that your volume for entry needs to be a lot smaller. And because of that, you might not be able to take the trade because you might get something like 0.003. So if you put in the minimum 0.01, you're actually overexposing yourself by 3 times the amount. So just be careful of that. Okay. It just takes proper planning and seeing what your average stop to entry size is, and it should give you an idea of what you need. Okay. But normally the best way around that is actually just opening up a mini account so that your exposure is smaller, okay, compared to a standard account. And that will allow you to take the trades with bigger stop to entries with an account with a smaller balance in it. Now, with this one then, we're just going to wait maybe another couple of days to see exactly what's going to be happening. Okay. Right. Okay, great to see you, Bevan. Okay. Now, next one. Okay. This one gave an entry a couple of days ago as well. Okay. And this was the one that was based on the Tenkan Kujin Sen cross. Price was nice and low at that point. The Chiku span was clear off price at that point as well. So that's what got us in at that entry. You can see that the entry is quite a bit lower. Our stop is set. Okay. And what we could probably do is we could look at actually ratcheting the stop at this point in time. So let's have a look at what we need to do or where we need to set it to. Okay. This could produce another signal coming up actually in a short little while. That is the Chiku breaking price to the bottom. So once it starts clearing price and runs into open space, that's the entry signal. But everything is beautifully set up for the bearish signal and entry in this one. Now let's look at where we need to move our stop loss to. Okay, let's count. Remember, that's a flat section, but it's not confirmed as a flat section yet. It hasn't finished forming. Once it points down or up, then it's a finalized flat section. So we go and start from the one before it. That's one. Okay, that one, I think that could be one there as well. Let's just zoom in to get a better idea. Oh, that's a very minute one. Okay, so we've got one, we've got two, we've got three flat sections. So I'm going to pull the stop from here, and I'm going to pull it to that flat section over there. Here we go, just adjusted it, accepted the price. That's done. Perfect. Now, once this starts going lower, then I can count from here, 1, 2, 3, and I'll move it down to that level. Okay, that's it. Always 3 flat sections back. Okay, so now at least if price does turn against me, I'm not going to lose my full 1%. I'm going to lose less than that. That's the beauty of ratcheting the stop. But the key factor is, especially when ratcheting with a stop, you want to give it more than enough room for price to breathe in, especially because we're targeting trending type of trades with this. So you need to give your price a bit of room in terms of that. Now, that's the whole thing. That's why we are ratcheting the stop loss according to the Kujin-sen, but 3 flat sections back. That gives us a nice ratio, making sure that at least we've got the stop loss at a more or less good enough setting and giving more than enough space in terms of entering the trade. Especially if it wants to kind of just grab a little breather, have a little correction, and then continue going again. Okay. Right. Remember, guys, like I said, if at any point there's any questions coming up, feel free to just, use the chat feature, that kind of thing, and let me know. Okay. Right. Now, okay, great. See Williams on as well. Okay. Good stuff. Now, this means that we're already in a couple of trades. Okay. Next chart. Let's see what this one is doing. This one's looking interesting. Okay, let's zoom in slightly. This is the Euro franc. Okay, and now, what is this one doing? Any signals? Firstly, is this bullish or bearish? What do you guys say? What do you guys think? Bullish or bearish? That's it, Bevan. Well done. Well done. Okay. Exactly. This is a bullish trend. Okay. Price is above the Kumo cloud, therefore it's bullish. Future Kumo is green, therefore it's bullish as well. Okay, but mainly the price is above the cloud. But the future Kumo is bullish, so that's looking good for any type of bullish or buy signal. Now, at this point in time, is there any signal that you guys can see that's being produced? And if so, which one? Let's see if you guys sharpened up on the Ichimoku entry signals. Remember, there's 5 different entry signals that the Ichimoku gives. That's why this is such a brilliant, brilliant indicator to learn. Okay, now, okay. There we go, Bevan. Well done. That's it. Okay. Good stuff. That's it. It's the Kujin break. So price breaking the Kujin. We can clearly see that being done with the current candle. So it's happening now. It's just not yet confirmed. So this could be an entry tomorrow. So let's probably just wait for tomorrow to get the confirmation and then see what's happening. Okay. At this point in time, everything looks good. Okay, the Tenkan and Kujin Sen are in the right order. The only issue I've got so far is the Tenkan's pointing downwards. So we could get the Tenkan and Kujin Sen crossing and giving a sell signal, but it's going to be a very weak sell signal. Okay. The other thing as well is that I'm not too happy with exactly where the Kujin is sitting, because it looks like it's heading closer towards price. There's still a little bit of room, a little bit of play, but think about it now like this. This is how I want you guys to start analyzing this type of signal. Okay. What we're looking at is we've got a clear signal happening here. We are most likely going to have it confirmed tomorrow. I'm not happy with the way the Tenkan Sen is situated, and if we see it tomorrow and that Tenkan and Kujin Sen has crossed to the other side, I might actually refrain from taking that entry. I'll also just have a look at exactly where the Chiku span is situated, because what I want is I want a bit more clear open space in front of it. Okay, so if all goes well, this is going to move up a lot further. But what we could see then most likely is, and if we're still worried about taking the trade, if the Tenkan and Kujin Sen does cross for the sell signal tomorrow, then I'll actually just wait. I'd rather wait for maybe the Tenkan Kujin Sen cross to take the entry. But I'll be waiting for the bullish cross. So the Tenkan Sen would cross from below to above the Kujin Sen. So that might take another couple of extra candles. So we might only see this happening next week. But I feel that that might give the Chiku span a little bit more time to start moving into a clearer area, and it doesn't hit consolidation. Therefore, it also gives us an idea whether this might actually be heading towards consolidation and keep us out of I'd almost say a false signal, okay, but I'd rather say a bit of a weaker signal. That's a better wording to use. Okay, so you see the process I'm going through here. I'm seeing there is an entry, but I'm also seeing that there's quite a good possibility for another entry coming up right after that. We'll have a better idea tomorrow, okay, but if it shows it that way, and I'm not happy with the way things are situated once the confirmation comes for the Kujin break tomorrow, I might rather just wait a couple of days longer for more proper entry level with everything situated slightly better for me, and then I take the entry. If price actually does start moving sideways and the Tenkan and Kujin Sen cross for the buy didn't give also such good signals, we could maybe also see the Chiku span running sideways into price and breaking it to the up past here, and then it's in clear open space, and that would be another entry coming up. But it'll take a couple of candles before we really know. So this one we're going to keep on our radar, but we're going to need to kind of just, see as this continues if it actually might produce a couple of better entry signals. Okay, so yes, this is giving a signal, but I'm not 100% happy with this signal though. Okay, only because of the way the Tenkan and Kujin-sen is situated at this point in time. They're pointing towards one another, wanting to cross. The story could change tomorrow. Okay, and also that the Chiku span is starting to want to, kind of move towards price. If this goes sideways a little bit longer, then we're going to see this heading into consolidation. We might then get a trend change. So instead of just getting in for, trying to get into the trade because the signal's coming, we're just going to wait a little bit longer, and maybe we're going to save ourselves from an unnecessary trade. Okay. Right. I hope that makes sense with that analysis. That's the type of way I want you guys to start utilizing the analysis on the Ichimoku. Okay. It's always looking 3 steps ahead. Think about it that way, right? You want to see what is most likely going to come up as the next 3 signals. So try and imagine what the chart would look like in maybe another 3 candles if it goes up, or what it would look like if it goes down. And that should give you an idea of what could be coming up. And if you spot maybe that there are there would be another signal coming in, then I'd recommend, especially if you're not too happy with the current signal, then maybe just wait a little bit longer and see if the new signal that's going to come up is going to produce a much better signal overall. And that's it. It takes a little bit of practice, but you start getting used to the hang of it after running with it for a little while. And that's all you need to do. Okay. Right, so let's have a look at the next chart and see if that's producing anything. So we're going to look at the euro pound now. Now the euro pound, like I said, guys, this one was a tricky one. The only entry signal you really got with this one was the Kumo break. And if you missed that, you missed the entry. Any of you who got into this trade on the Kumo break is making beautiful money at this point in time. And this thing is still going strong. That's not even given us any other entry opportunity at this point in time. So we can see that this is trending very strongly to the bullish side. Look at how steeply that future Kumo is pointing upwards as well. Look at how the Tenkan and Kujin-sen is pointing upwards as well. Right? They're in the right order, that kind of thing. It's the sign of a strong, strong trend. So any of you who actually got into that one once the Kumo break happened, well done. That's a beautiful, beautiful trade to be in. Good money to be made on that one. Hopefully, at one or other point, this might give us an additional entry. Let's just, cross fingers and hope for the best on this one. Okay, but if you are in this one as a position already, you should be making beautiful profits on this one. I mean, like I said the last time, we're looking at about a 7% profit on that one at this point in time. Okay, that's how strongly that one has been moving. So it's a beautiful trade, that one in particular. Now, a lot of you would probably notice as well that have taken a couple of trades at this point in time. You can see actually at the bottom that I've got a few trades open here. Right, I've got about 4 or 5 open that have been taken. Right, currently, every single one of them in a negative. Right, and I'm not bothered. I'm not worried at all. The first day I took them, obviously they moved beautifully into profits. So I went from a profitable overall position to a more negative one now. Right? I'm not down by a lot at all. Okay? They're kind of hovering more or less at the break-even level. But this is one of the things I want you guys to understand as well. This is normal for the Ichimoku system. You're going to ride this emotional roller coaster every single time. You're going to get in a trade, it's going to start going positive, and all of a sudden it pulls back. Now that trade that was positive turns negatively, right? It's just the trade retracing. It's normal for it to do that. It always does that, right? And then it starts turning up. So it might take some time before we actually start seeing the profits on this, but we're in the trades, and that's the key thing. It just needs to run now. And this is why we give it that extra room, because it always pulls back like this and then continues. And because we're giving it that room, we're not going to be taken out in a loss. But hopefully this pulls and goes through nicely with most of these trades. And we can start ratcheting our stops to better positions to minimize our losses if it goes against us, or start pushing the trade into profits. Right? And that's what we want. So the further this goes, the more profits we're going to make. Okay. Right. Next chart. Pound franc. Now with this one, we had an entry as well. This entry was the Tenkan Sen crossing the Kujin Sen. So quite a couple of you should be in this trade as well. Right. This basically happened when price was at a nice level as well. It was pushing the Chiku past price as well, so there was nice clear and open space. So that one, all the other conditions were beautiful as well. Look at how that future Kumo is pointing downwards as well. Right? Tenkan has moved down beautifully. We've got a nice flat section forming on the Kujin Sen. Right? And let's just keep an eye on this and see what happens, but hopefully the Chiku starts actually moving further down, getting into clearer space, and starts moving this into profits. I'm happy with what I'm seeing on the future Kumo, and that's giving me more than enough confidence that this will still push further down. Now, like I said, let's look at ratcheting. That's a flat section, but it's not yet finished forming, so I can't count that one in. Nothing here. There's 1, 2, 3. So I'm going to drag my stop to the third flat section. Set it in place. Done. Remember, we always keep it 3 flat sections back. Now this trade has basically minimized my risk now as well, so I won't be losing a full 1%er if price does turn against me. But I'm still giving it more than enough room to breathe in. That's the beauty of this ratcheting method. If this starts going down, then we count from here. It'll be 1, 2, 3. So it'll only move a small bit. But then as the next one starts forming, we pull it further and further and further. Right? And that's the key factor with this. It's just making sure that we maintain this ratcheting and not put it too tight. Because if you're going to put it too tight, you're going to get taken out too early. So just be wary of trying to put it too tight. Okay? Always keep it 3 flat sections back. Full flat sections. Remember, that's a partial flat section. It's not yet finished forming. That has to finish forming. So we count from the one behind that and continue from there. Okay. So all in all, that should be one that you guys should be into at this point in time. So you should have quite a couple of trades open. Like I said, guys, you can run this on a demo account with me. That's going to be very good practice for you guys. You'd be able to clearly see exactly how I go about my analysis, how I go about managing my trades, and you can just make sure that you duplicate it. And trust me, you'll start getting the feel for it. You'll start getting the vibe for it. Right? And once you've got that down, it's just running with it. Right? Remember, this is something that produces results in the long term. So this isn't something that's going to produce quick, fast profits. Okay? But it's going to give you the best type of growth available out there if you compare it to anything else with the yearly growth, percentage-wise. Right? And that's the thing. This gives some beautiful growth if you trade this properly. Right? And it's about knowing how to strengthen your positions and add those extra entries once the trade starts going. So when you go about it that way, you notice that you actually start strengthening most of the entries that actually start trading beautifully. And that's where the real money lies. Right? It's not about taking the start of the trend and just letting it run. We want to add to it as it continues going. So you'll see, once we start getting extra positions for entry and that kind of thing, we're going to add to that position, and we might have a couple of sell signals, and we'll start managing multiple stops to the same level as it starts kicking in. Right, next chart. Let's see what we've got with that one. Next chart is the pound yen. Now this one gave a beautiful, beautiful entry signal as well. The signal that was given with this was Tenkan Kujin Sen cross. Okay. Also with this one, basically the price was situated at a beautiful point. Tenkan and Kujinsen was looking beautiful. They were at the right levels and that kind of thing. The future Kuma looks beautiful. Okay. And the Chiku span was an open, clear space. Maybe if this goes on a little while, we could get some extra entries coming in with this one as well. Right? Now let's see. Okay, I see the sell is there. Something just looks a bit fishy with this. Yes, I haven't got the stop loss in here. Okay, let's get that into place. So if it was there, it would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 over there. So let's just pull it in quickly. There we go. Good. Now this has been going on for a couple of extra days. Let's look. Let's see if there's any other flat sections. We can't count that one. It's not finished forming yet. Nothing, nothing, nothing. 1, 2, 3. So our stop loss is still the closest point. Okay, so we're going to wait a little while longer before we can ratchet that one. Okay, so we haven't got enough flat sections to be able to move that one down. Picture might change in another week, so we'll see then. But this one is another one that you guys should be in at. Right. Okay. Next one. The New Zealand US dollar. Now this one's interesting. Okay. Let's zoom in. Now this one's given a signal. Which signal? Let's see if you guys can spot the signal. There's technically two signals. One happened recently. The other happened a couple of times. And it was a couple of candles ago. Let's see if you guys can spot it. That's it, Bevan. Well done. Definitely the Kumo break. Can you see if you can spot the other one? Okay, let me give you guys a tip. Okay, the Tenkan Kujin Sen cross is definitely one that has happened as well, and that happened a little bit later, or not later. It happened actually before the Kuma break. We got the last one, right? It's actually a fresher signal than that. It's one that's just happened recently. Okay, let me show you. It's not that easy to spot or see though. It's Chico breaking price. Remember, that's a signal as well. Okay, and that's the one that's happened most recently now. Now the question is that a strong buy signal or a weak buy signal or a medium buy signal? What would you say? Strong, medium, or weak? And just motivate why. Good answer, Bevan. Good answer. Definitely is weak. Why would you call it a weak one? Good answer, Bevan. Good answer. Beautiful. Yes, price is below the cloud. In other words, it's bearish. And the future cloud is bearish as well. Okay. Beautifully spotted, Bevan. Well done with the analysis on that. Okay. Even though the Chiku's brokered price and it is in clear open space, there's nothing in front of it at this point in time. The problem is where price is situated at and what the future Kumo is at this point in time. Okay. I'd probably rather wait for the Kumo break upwards. Okay. That's probably one of the next signals that could be popping up. Or we could get this going down. If this goes down, what's the first signal that could pop up? Let's see if you can spot that. What would be the first entry signal that could be produced if this goes down further? Beautiful, Bevan. Kujin break spot on. Now, what is most likely going to happen if that actually moves up? What is the next signal that could pop up? There's actually two that could come up. Let's see if you can get both. Yep, Kuma break is definitely one. And what would be another one that could come up? Very, very close to the Kumu break as well. They're almost going to happen in succession with one another. Remember, there's 5 different signals. Beautiful, that's it. It's going to be a future Kumo cross. Exactly. Right. That's how we do our analysis. That's it. That's it. Okay. So this gives you now a good idea of what could happen if this goes up or if this goes down. Okay. And we could then see if we're going to have a better position or if everything else is going to correlate a lot better once this goes another couple of candles. And that's all we do. We try and assess what could be the most possible entries coming up in the near future, and we assess then whether they might be putting us in a better position than the current signal. If there is most likely more signals coming up, then if I'm not too happy with the current signal, I might just wait for that next signal. Okay. And that's it. That's how we analyze this. And I hope this starts making a lot more sense for you guys, right? We're always trying to look, like I said, 3 steps ahead to kind of get an idea and a feel for what's most likely going to happen, and we prepare for when it actually does. And that's it. And when it happens, that's when we take action. At this point in time, we're seeing that there's 3 things that could happen. Okay, there's the Kujin break to the bottom. If that doesn't go well enough, then we could always wait for the Tenkan Kujin Sen cross after that. So those are the 2 signals that could come up as if price continues heading downwards from here. But if price continues heading upwards, it's going to be the Kumo break or the future Kumo cross that we're going to get. And that might be a good signal to take if it still continues going up, because we've got that Chiku span clear of price and it is above price. It's also above the current cloud where it's situated at this point in time. So that could be a good possibility for a buy entry for the start of an upwards trend there. But we might just need to wait a little bit longer to see exactly what this really wants to do. Okay, so we're going to keep our eye on this one, and we're just going to feel it out, see what it's going to do. Okay, right. Only got 3 charts left. Next one. Aussie dollar, New Zealand dollar. Now, what is this one doing? Firstly, bullish or bearish? Okay, so Bevan is saying bullish, right? I understand 100% why and so forth. Yes, exactly. We've got basically a Kumo break that has happened, which is a bullish buy entry. This is still a little bit, consolidating for me in that sense. I might just give this maybe a little bit longer. I'm not happy with where the Chiku span is situated. Okay, it's too close to price. It's still below the main cloud here as well. Tenkan and Kujinsen is inside the cloud, and the future Kumo is bearish. Okay, so everything else is still pointing against it. Right? So this is a kind of a weak buy signal. That's the only problem with this one at this point in time. So I might wait a little bit longer. I might actually even wait for that level to be broken before I actually get in, because that's what's likely going to set the Chiku span in free, clear, open space. So with this one, I'd probably just wait for the future Kumo to cross, okay, to give me maybe a better entry position. Have the Chiku span situated at a better point. Have the Tenkan Kujin Sen cross start moving in a good direction. I might even wait for the Tenkan Kujin Sen cross, okay, because that's also very close in happening if this continues going up. But this could go down as well. And if it goes down, we need to be ready for the signals that could pop up there. Now, if it goes down, I'd say the best entry possibility, we could see a Kujin break, price breaking Kujin. But the Kujin's inside the cloud, so that's not going to be a brilliant entry signal. So I might wait then for the Chiku to go down further, clear price in front of it here, right over here. And I want it basically to break free of price here and get below price. Once it breaks that, that might be a much better entry position. Okay. So yes, this one's giving a signal at this point in time for a buy, but I'm not too happy with this. Okay. There's too many things going against it. The only positive thing is price being above the cloud. It's the Kumo break. Everything else is against it. The Tenkan and Kujin is in the wrong order. Okay, the Tenkan and Kujin is inside the cloud as well. The future Kumo is bearish. The Chiku is too close to price and it's below the cloud there as well. It's just too many things against it. So I'd wait a little bit longer before I actually just jump into that one in particular. Okay, right. Now, second last chart. Now what's this one doing? This one is the Aussie dollar, US dollar. This one is giving a Kumo break to the top. See how it's clearing the Kumo cloud here? So it's giving a signal for a buy. Remember, like I said, the Kumo breaks are the most difficult ones to take. Right? The only problem again with this one, future cloud is bearish. Chiku is clear from price. That's a good thing. Tenkan and Kujin is below the cloud. Tenkan is pointing down here. But the Tenkan and the Kujin is in the right order for a buy. Tenkan above the Kujin. That's what we want. It's indicating a bullish move. Okay? So this one is already looking better than what the previous one was showing. You see what I'm saying? The Chiku is not that close to price. It's got a lot more open space in front of it. It's inside the cloud, which is quite okay. But more importantly, it's got nice open space in front of it. I mean, check here. You just move that. You can see it. Look there. Nice open space in front of it. The only other thing is that the future Kumo is still bearish. So here's the thing. If you're feeling a bit risky, by all means, you can take that trade. Okay. If this continues going up, I'm expecting, obviously, the future Kumo cross. I think I'd rather wait for the future Kumo cross to come round, because it'll be that added confirmation that I'm going to be looking for, and it might actually just push some of the other signals a bit further into my favor. Okay, because then at least I'm going to have an extra thing going my way. So I think with this one, right, remember this is most likely going to confirm, and tomorrow we'd be able to take the entry for the Kumo break on this. Picture's going to look differently, but I might just wait that extra couple of days to get the future Kumo cross to give me a bit of more weight towards the bullish move. Okay, I'm going to have more of these things pointing in the right direction and situated at the right point as well. Okay, so that one, I'll probably just wait a little bit longer before I actually just jump into it. Okay, so this is definitely a possibility to watch. Keep your eyes on the Aussie dollar, US dollar. So now we know there's already a small handful of trades that we're most likely going to be able to take and have already taken when we get to next week's session. Okay, and we'll see how the portfolio looks at that point in time, how things are running. Already we're starting to see some of the trades are, slowly but surely moving a little bit closer to their break-even points as well, because when we started the session, we were basically over $200 in loss, and we're already, below that now. So it's slowly but surely starting to move our way. Just need to give it a bit more time. But this one specifically, we're just going to wait a little bit longer. I'm definitely going to wait a little bit longer. Those of you who might want to take a chance and jump in on this, this is where you'd probably just take that 0.5% risk instead of a full percent. If you're still worried about, I'm kind of missing it. Because if this jumps up and it continues going up, you're going to miss the signal. But guaranteed, we still have to get, if this pushes further up, we're still going to get an entry signal being shown by the future Kumo cross. That's why I'm fine with leaving this maybe for another day or two to get that cross. Okay. Right, I hope that makes sense. Now, last chart. We're almost done with our session, guys. We've got like 2 minutes left. But let's finish up with this one. Now, this one is one that you should have gotten into as well. This is the franc yen. Okay. Now this one gave Tenkan Kujin Sen cross, and this one was actually taken on the Kujin break. So the Kujin break happened, and then the next day price was basically sitting at this point. It was nice and clear and open space. So trade was taken, and then we got the Tenkan Kujin Sen cross right after that. Okay. Now we could look if we can ratchet this, but let's see. This is a flat section, but it's not yet finished forming. So we look for the next one. First one is only above the stop loss, so the stop loss is still the closest point at this section. So we're going to have to wait a little while before we'd be able to actually ratchet the stop down. So this still needs a little bit of room to breathe in before we really can do anything else. Now, we're just going to need to wait and see exactly what is going to transpire with this. Maybe a little bit later on, this actually gives us another entry that we'd be able to take. Something like maybe price breaking Kujin, or it could be Tenkan Kujin Sen cross again, but for the sell signal. So we get it pulling back, having a weak buy signal, and then going back down, giving a strong sell signal, and then we enter. Okay, and that's what we're going to add to the current position. Okay. Still going to do the normal stop loss movement of setting the stop loss at the most recent high low within 7 candles, and then we ratchet both according to the exact same method. Always third flat section back. Okay, and that's it. Right, so guys, we've basically, timing is perfect. We're right on the dot on 8. We've basically finished with a session. For those of you on at this point in time, I just want to find out, are there any questions you guys have got about the signals or that kind of thing that you'd like me to run through while I'm still on? Don't be shy. If there's anything you want to ask, by all means, this is the time. Okay, William, thanks for letting me know. Right. Okay, right. Well done, Bevan. Yes, hopefully we're going to have the backtesting product. It's basically done. It's finished. It's finalized. We've worked, well, I've been testing it for a little while now, and we've just basically made sure that that thing runs 100%. And there's two versions. There's a basic version, and then there's a pro version. And I'm going to be developing a demo video for the product on Sunday. So by next week, it should be available for all of you guys. Okay, so I'll set up, a link to that kind of thing for you all to be able to view the demo on that and see exactly how it works, how it runs, that kind of thing. There'll be a page we'd be able to, purchase the unit or the program from, and it's got all the details and everything you need in there. Okay. And the beautiful thing is it saves so much time. It's insane, I really think that that is something that's going to be like a game changer. I don't know of any product like that, on the market at this point in time, that gets used like that. So it's an awesome tool. But yeah, that's basically, it's ready. So we're just getting everything ready to be able to get it live and online for you guys, by next week. Okay, so you should hopefully have that ready by next week on the site to be able to purchase. Okay. Like I said, I'm going to be doing the demo and that kind of thing, and I'm going to start, running with that as well within the backtesting sessions that I do as well, so that you guys can see all the different ways in which we utilize it and how we use it to tweak our systems and actually find, the tweaking on it is brilliant. I mean, oh my word, especially the pro version. Your tweaks are instantaneously done. It's so fast. You can run through like 7 tweaks, I mean, in the space of 30 minutes. It's insane. It's very quick because it's all just click and drag. But yeah, that's going to be ready basically by next week. And yeah, if there's any further questions and so forth on it, by all means, just pop me a mail. And the beautiful thing is it works with any MetaTrader platform. Okay, so even if you're using another broker, that kind of thing, it works with any MetaTrader platform. You can just install it and run it, and it does its job. Okay, right. Now, anything else, or would that be it? Okay, it looks like that's it then, guys. Perfect. Gents, I want to thank you for joining me for tonight. Okay, I hope you guys picked up a lot tonight, learned a lot. Bevan, you did great, man. Really, I'm proud of the way that you're, progressing and that kind of thing. And hopefully you're running this with the demo account as well, and just, kind of getting your skills up to date with it. Beautiful. Just keep up with it. Okay. And remember, if there's any questions that come up, just let me know. Okay, that's what I'm here for. William, thanks as well for joining. I love the way that you're very diligent in terms of doing your things as well. Take my hat off to that, and that just shows that you're definitely going to make it as well. All I ever want from any of you is the effort that you put in, and if you do that, guys, I promise you're going to make it. Okay, and that should be it then, guys. Like I said, anything else that pops up, just let me know. And that's it then. I'll see most of you then again next week. Okay, enjoy the rest of the evening, guys. Cheers.